let me tell you why timing and negativity work out the way that they do and that they're so important. So a few years back, there was a girl on TikTok. Now, I don't know if she's the first one to do this, but she's the one that I experienced and seen this from. She was making a whole bunch of points about how the economic system isn't fair and how you have to stop putting in so much effort because putting in the maximum amount of effort wasn't really getting the employer's attention and things like this. Now, I understood where her mind was coming from on these things, but I, from my own world experience, have already seen how this plays out, that if you try to do these kind of things without understanding the mathematics of what you're working with, it doesn't play out well. So I understood that there was just too many people in the world that have to have jobs because of the way the economic system works, that path probably wasn't going to pan out super well. And now I tried to say it to a few people. And now I know if you try to stop somebody on their mission, it's not going to work. It's pointless. You're wasting your breath. Everybody has to go through their journey. And a few people that I brought it out to kind of brushed me off or whatever. Even if they kind of seen my point a little bit, they were like, "Nah, kind of, she's bringing up some really good points." Fair. However, now here we are, and people are living in the consequences of that. We have things that are breaking more easily when workers don't care about what they're doing at work. We in the society are directly affected, right? If you're not paying attention to quality and safety control because you're just clocked in and trying to get your money and just get through the day, it's the society that gets those products that directly affected by it. Same thing as if you're even at a restaurant. I just experienced this the other day where the waitress completely disappeared. And at the end, I actually had to stop somebody else and send them, like, can you please go get her to get the check? Because she was one of those people that kind of operate on the, I'm just here, let me just get paid. And where I was at work. And so this was on a time crunch. So this is another thing directly affected. Not that she cares or that it's her business. Everybody has their days and whatever. I'm not bitching about her. This is just a point of how, even if you're not directly working with products and safety, that even if you're working with people, you can still have an effect on their lives. And this does roll downhill because, see, if I had a bad day and have a work and job that then gets affected and stuff, it can ultimately roll right back around to her. I'm not going to explain all the mechanics of that. You can think that through yourself. So the point here is, now that I'm starting to make the point of you have to put pride into your work and everything because your work directly affects other people. And while your work may not be what's directly affecting you, it's other people's work that are directly affecting you. So if your mentality is that, and then their mentality ends up mimicking that, you then do get directly affected. That's how this pattern works. Now that I'm saying this and have the proof in the pudding of, look, how many quality things have broke down on you? How much have you guys been talking about since this happened, that just the quality of stuff has gone down, people don't care about anything anymore, and all of the consequences that has laid. Now, when I bring this point up to you, you can actually look at the world and see it. Now, I can be a grain of sand that doesn't matter and don't have to have any kind of credentials for you to hear what I'm saying and be able to analyze, see what's going on, and go, shit, that makes sense. Would it have made sense if I was trying to preach this against her when it first happened? No. Everybody thought very much with that because they experienced exactly what she had experienced, putting your whole fucking heart into work and people taking advantage of it. Because if you are somebody that can be taken advantage of in a system where there are a bunch of people that want to take advantage of anybody, that there's a mindset, like when they're taking advantage, that's not how they think of it. It's, well, you're okay with it. I mean, I wouldn't be okay with it, but you are, so it's okay. And that's how they justify it in their mind. Negativity, the consequences of that action, was the only thing that was going to stop it, because logically there was nothing else that was going to stop that wave. Timing. Because of those consequences, a new timing can come in, a new point can be made where work is essential to our life. And we can reprogram how we do this. If jobs did not have to worry about a quota or a capita of money that they have to have the I suck at making sure these words are the right fucking words. Anyway, you have to have the right overhead to cover your overhead and then get into profits and all of that, right? So if that wasn't something that you had to worry about, you could actually hire the amount of people that are required to do jobs efficiently. And if you're in America and you're in a job, I'm pretty sure you can look around your job and go, oh my God, we definitely could use more people. And if we, first of all, didn't have the economic system to put on, do you know how many people's jobs would be freed up to do other things? And now those artist people that you've kind of pushed down a lot are the ones that can knit and make clothes and do all of these things. And you actually have those qualities that you pushed away to fit into the economic system because you were taught that that's what you had to do because that's what the system is. And if you were freed from that, you would pursue your passions. And when everybody's pursuing their passions, I know it's really hard for you to mathematically calculate this because of your living experience and what you've seen from human beings. But look at the bigger picture, the world, nature, right? It has that symbiotic system, the cohabitation, whatever you want to call the circle of life, and how everything, there's a design to things, right? The plants and animals that work together happen to just be designed to do that, right? We as humans are designed as social creatures, and that's the proof, because we are in fact social creatures. And you know this by the fact that you have social tendencies. Even if you isolated yourself, you still have social desires because you are a social creature. So in that social creature designed that was put inside of us is a need to be needed. And so I know this is hard for you to believe, but if we started shifting the system to solving problems and not the money parts of things, you make life better for everybody, right? Because if we stopped taking down trees to build new houses, because we could just use the old buildings and implement and reforest these things. And we could do that if we weren't on an economic system, because we wouldn't have those boundaries that we have, that the economic thing. How many times is it, we don't have the money for it? We don't have the money for it. Okay, well, listen, it doesn't cost thousands of dollars unless you're in an economic system. It only costs that if that's the way that you want to trade it. If you want to just use labor and us work together and be civil and just, you don't have to agree with me, but we could still work together. And you do this every day when you go to your job and you work with people that you don't like, because I promise you there's not a fucking soul that likes every human being that they work with. Even if they like traits about everybody that they work with, there's something about somebody that irritates you, because we're human, and all of our building of our souls were built on duality. So there's going to be contradictions. That's a part of the system. But we can still work together. It logically maths out. And if you don't think so, give me the articulate reasons why you don't agree. Don't just tell me that it's not possible because humans are bad. Okay? Tell me, what exactly about humans' badness do you see as the fatal flaw to what I'm talking about? Because I've spent years saying these kind of things to have people be like, yeah, you're right. You bring up really good points. I can see that. And then at the very fucking end of it are always like, but it's not going to happen because, humans aren't going to put into it. But if you all agree with me, and it only takes you guys agreeing with me and doing it, and the only thing stopping you is you don't see that everybody else seems to fucking agree. Help me out here. The math doesn't math. Like, you want peace for yourselves. You know you're in a system. You're starting to see that drilling holes in your own boat is just going to drown you. I'm pretty positive the universe is teaching that lesson hardcore for everybody at the moment. Tell me articulately, who's actually against these things? Why are you against it? Let's talk these things out, because a better world is already at our doorstep. And it's just going to take about how long we want to recognize it to actually be able to enjoy it. So, who's with me and who's against me? I really don't care about who's with me other than just like it or whatever to show that there is that agreeal. I really care about the ones that don't. Why don't you? Show me that there's this whole big, huge human collective that's against peace and love. Show me who you are, right? Because everybody I talk to on a personal level, and we actually articulate our thoughts back and forth, whether we agree or not, and most of the time we don't, they understand all of the points that I'm saying, agree that it's logical, agree that this is possible if I could get all the humans to agree, but they believe that they don't. Okay, so if you're not the one, who are the ones? Are they bold enough to stand up? Because if they're not bold enough to stand up and say, I'm against it, are they really bold enough and strong enough to stop it? Help me out here. Stand up. If you're bold and you're against it, stand up. If you're against it and not bold enough to stand up, pipe the fuck down in all the matters that are articulated with it. Because clearly, you don't actually got a problem with it. You need to heal your hurt. And guess what? The world we're trying to work for helps you do that. Because it is easier to heal in a world where people aren't constantly making it harder for you.